Hey, Doctor Roberto Monaco here. Hope you're doing fantastic. In this quick video here, I want to share with you why some chiropractic patients, they drop from chiropractic care using a persuasive communication theory called elaboration likelihood model. As I travel and I speak for chiropractors all over the world, I always see a big focus on attracting new patients, doing outside marketing, which obviously is super important. But I feel like so many chiros, they spend all this time, energy attracting new patients, but they don't do a good job educating the patients. And today I'm just gonna share a communication model just to explain to you how people make decisions, why they drop from care, and what you can do about it specifically. Now, when it comes to influence and persuasive communication, every time when you present your message, could be one-on-one, report of findings, video, a talk, your audience, they're going to receive the information, and your information either is going to shape someone's attitudes or beliefs. That means like someone doesn't have a background in chiropractic yet, so basically communicating, and you actually start shaping or kind of like massaging someone's attitude about chiropractic care. Right? That person goes from having no reference or idea to have some reference. Then through communication, you go from shaping someone's attitude to actually change someone's attitude. That means that when you go to your day 1, day 2, and you actually sign up for someone for chiropractic care, they'll be like, okay, doc, here's my credit card, let's start. And the vast majority of chiropractors, when they train right here. I want to change someone's mindset. I want to change someone's health paradigm. I want to change someone's way of managing their health. And when the person or the families sign up for chiropractic care, will be like, oh, that's a good job, right? And what the vast majority of chiropractors do a really poor job, based on my experience, is that they do a really poor job at reinforcing someone's attitude. So I always remember this, is that in communication, you either shape someone's attitudes or beliefs, you are changing someone's attitudes or beliefs, or you are reinforcing someone's attitudes and beliefs. And it's just like, let's say if you've been in a relationship, if you're married, for example, and I use this example, you shape someone's attitude, that person, he or she, didn't know about you, and then a friend's like, oh, I have a nice person to introduce you, right? So that person, quote unquote, pre-frame you, and then you change someone's attitude, you go out, you be like, you know what, let's get married, let's say, my example here. But then eventually what happens? If you get married, but then you don't reinforce that marriage, that commitment, that love, that relationship throughout the long term, reinforce, then the marriage ends, right? The same idea with chiropractic care. And the model I want to introduce today is called ELM, elaboration likelihood model. And this model is a pretty powerful model, in my perspective, communication model, to explain why people, they drop from care. Not only chiropractic care, but everything, how people make decisions, okay? So let's do some exploring here. So according to the researchers, they use this model. Your patients can make decisions using 2 different routes. They call the central route of persuasion, or the direct route, or the indirect route of persuasion. So it's very simple to understand. So let's say you present a chiropractic message, your argument, talk about the nervous system, the brain, subluxation. And the first thing that your patient has to go through a process where your patient is motivated to learn. Like, am I motivated to learn? Do I care about my health enough to learn? Okay. So once the person like, yes, because health is my most important asset, then the second level that I gotta go through as a patient, I have to be able, cognitively be able to not only be motivated to hear you, but be able to process. Because some people, you talk about the brain, the nervous system, the spinal cord, subluxation, they'll be like, it's too much for me. Now, someone can be motivated, but if they're not able to understand, it's not going to work. But let's assume that someone is motivated and someone is actually able to hear you, able to understand. And if they do that, they're going to engage in a very high level of elaboration. Elaboration, according to the science, means like they're thinking they go through. So they're thinking a lot about your message, they're processing, they understand, okay, oh, what's health, what health comes from, the brain, the nervous system, the spine, communication back and forth. And when your patients engage in this high elaboration, meaning they're elaborating the message, they're thinking about the message, that tends to having a lasting change, either a positive change or no change. Most likely here, if your patients are motivated, if they're able to understand the message, they engage in high elaboration, then it's going to create lasting change, which means you have patients specifically that stay in chiropractic care for the rest of their lives, right? And that is the central route, and which translates into what? Amazing retention, which that's the goal pretty much every single chiropractor I've seen. Now, sometimes though, your audience or your patients or prospective patients, they don't engage in this central route of persuasion. They engage in this peripheral route of persuasion, which means what? That maybe you invite a patient to bring their spouse to a patient orientation class or a group doctors report or seminar, and that person is there just because the spouse, hey, you have to come here, but that person is not truly motivated to listen to you speak. Those people usually here, right? You have those people. We all have met those people. And when that person is not very motivated to hear you out, that person is going to make a decision based on a peripheral route of persuasion, or which means that that person is not going to think too much. Like, I'm not, because I'm not motivated to learn. And if you're not motivated to learn about your message, then I'm not going to engage in high elaboration, higher thinking, right? I'm going to be like, whatever. Or another example could be someone is there, the spouse invite the person to be there. The person is actually, it is motivated to learn. But let's say the person is not able to understand, maybe it's too much noise, maybe you're speaking too much doctorish, right? And your ideas, your words or concepts are super high levels going above someone's head, that even though the person might be motivated, the person, guess what? Is not able to process fully, or maybe you communicate way too much information, like way too much. That happens all the time. And then that person is not going to use the central route of persuasion, meaning that person not going to be elaborating your arguments. That person is going to use what we call peripheral cues to make a decision. So that person, instead of like engaging in high elaboration, like, oh, I want to think about the brain, about the nervous system, about subluxation, about stresses, that person is going to decide using what you call peripheral cues, like, I like the doc, I like her personality, I like his personality, I like his clothes, he's from the same town, we went to the same high school, I like the office, the front desk person is very nice. So yes, they're going to make a decision. Yes, they're going to say, yes, let's do, doc, here's my credit card. But what's going to happen is, because they use a peripheral cue, means like they haven't spent enough time elaborating the message, the decision is going to be temporary. And that's the case of conversion with poor retention. I have met so many chiropractor coaches and groups out there who want to teach you the quick trick to close people. And you actually close and you brag about, like, oh, my close is super high, I'm doing amazing. But then guess what? They're coming in, but they're leaving. Why? Because your patients or someone's patients is using peripheral cues. Right? Oh, you got them super emotional, they commit to care, but they haven't engaged in a high elaboration understanding of why they gotta be under chiropractic care for the rest of their lives. And that's why. So if you want to go from conversion with poor retention to conversion with high retention, lasting change, you have to be able to educate your patients. One of the most effective ways to do it that I know is to deliver a world-class patient orientation class combined with table topics, table talk, combined with a video communication ongoing. So eventually your patients, they engaging in high elaboration, high thinking, understand the power of the nervous system, the power of removing interference, subluxation, eventually is going to increase the likelihood of them staying a long period of time with you. That's the idea. So I hope that you guys enjoy this, and I hope that you understand the power that we all have. I have a comment here. Saludos, hermano. Dr. Jose, saludos. That we all have. And I just want to show this model so that you think in terms of like, how well am I educating my patients right now? Because most chiropractors, they think that when they do the report of findings, they chew, they close, they're educating people, and that's not. They're just using more like peripheral cues, and they're not engaging people, and that's why people are dropping from care. So if you want to learn more about how we can help you, there's a link below here. Check out our Chiro Speaking Club. We have 36 amazing classes and so many more benefits to help you out. Don't speak to inform, speak to transform. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.